Welcome back to our channel. Friends, many people live their whole life trying to impress others. They choose their clothes based on others. They choose their career based on others. They stop speaking because they fear judgment. They stop trying because they fear criticism. But let me ask you something. Are those people living your life? Are they paying your bills? Are they fighting your struggles? No. Then why give them so much power? The truth is simple. You care too much about what people think. And that fear is stopping your growth. Today, we will understand why you seek approval, why criticism hurts you, and how to become mentally free. Because the moment you stop caring about unnecessary opinions, you start living boldly. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Understand why you care so much. Before you stop caring about what people think, you must understand one thing. Why do you care so much? Most people do not even question this. They just feel hurt. They feel embarrassed. They feel afraid of judgment. But there is a reason behind it. Humans naturally want acceptance. We want to belong. We want to feel respected. Since childhood, we are trained to seek approval. When we do something good, we get praise. When we make mistakes, we get criticism. Slowly, our brain connects approval with safety and rejection with fear. That is why when someone criticizes you, it feels painful. It feels personal. But here is the truth. Not every opinion matters. Not every judgment is important. You care too much because you give too much importance to others' thoughts. You think, what will they say? What if they laugh? What if they judge me? What if they think I am not good enough? But ask yourself honestly, how often do you think deeply about other people's small mistakes? Almost never. Because people are busy thinking about themselves. Most people are not analyzing your life. They are worried about their own problems. Another reason you care so much is insecurity. When you are not fully confident, outside opinions feel stronger. If someone says, you cannot do this, you start doubting yourself. Why? Because part of you already doubts yourself. When confidence is weak, criticism feels powerful. But when confidence is strong, criticism feels small. Also remember this. People judge from their level. Someone with small thinking will criticize big dreams. Someone afraid to try will mock your courage. Their words reflect their mindset, not your ability. If you stop and think deeply, you will realize something important. No matter what you do, people will talk. If you succeed, they talk. If you fail, they talk. If you stay quiet, they talk. If you speak confidently, they talk. You cannot control opinions. You can only control your reaction. Another important truth. When you care too much about what others think, you stop being yourself. You start acting. You start pretending. You start hiding your real personality. And that creates stress, because pretending is exhausting. Freedom comes when you accept yourself, when you accept your flaws, when you accept your dreams, when you accept your uniqueness. Understanding why you care is the first step to freedom. You care because you want acceptance. You care because you fear rejection. You care because you doubt yourself. But once you build self-confidence, others' opinions lose power. The goal is not to become careless. The goal is to become strong. Strong enough to listen calmly. Strong enough to ignore useless criticism. Strong enough to live your life on your terms. Remember this clearly. If you live for people's approval, you will die from their rejection. But if you live for your growth, no opinion can stop you. Understand the reason. Accept it. And slowly, you will stop giving others so much control over your mind. Lesson 2. Realize that people think about themselves more than you. One of the biggest reasons you care about what people think is this illusion. You believe people are constantly watching you. You think they are analyzing your actions. You imagine they are judging every mistake. But the truth is very different. Most people are thinking about themselves, their problems, their goals, their insecurities, their fears, just like you. Let me ask you something honestly. How much time do you spend thinking about someone else's small mistake? Very little, because you are busy thinking about your own life. The same is true for others. They are not focused on you all day. They are focused on themselves. This is called the spotlight effect. You feel like a spotlight is on you. But in reality, everyone is standing in their own spotlight. Everyone is worried about how they look, what they said, what people think about them. So when you fear judgment, remember this. The other person is also afraid of judgment. You are both worried about each other's opinions. And because of that, no one is actually judging deeply. Another important truth. Even if someone judges you, how long will they think about it? A few minutes. Then they return to their own problems. You may replay one small embarrassment in your mind for days, but others forget it quickly. You are holding on to something that they have already forgotten. Why carry that weight? Also, understand this. People's opinions change quickly. Today, they may criticize you. Tomorrow, they may praise you. Their thoughts are unstable. So why build your life on unstable opinions? If you keep adjusting yourself based on others' temporary thoughts, you will never feel stable. Freedom begins when you accept this reality. You are not the center of everyone's attention. And that is a good thing. It means you can try, you can fail, you can experiment without constant judgment. Another powerful thought. Even the most successful people are judged. Actors, athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders, they all face criticism. But do they stop living? No, because they understand that opinions are temporary. You must shift your focus. Instead of asking, "What are they thinking about me?" Ask, "What am I thinking about myself?" Self-opinion is more important than public opinion. If you respect yourself, others' words lose power. Confidence grows when you stop seeking validation. Validation means waiting for someone to approve you. But real strength comes from self-approval. When you approve yourself, outside approval becomes optional. Remember this clearly. People are too busy managing their own lives to constantly judge yours. Stop imagining an audience. Stop creating pressure. Live freely. Speak freely. Act confidently. Because once you understand that most people are focused on themselves, you stop giving them so much control over your happiness. And that is the beginning of mental freedom. Lesson 3. Build self-confidence. So opinions don't hurt. If you want to stop caring about what people think, you must build self-confidence. Without confidence, every small comment hurts. Every small joke feels personal. Every criticism feels like an attack. But when confidence is strong, opinions lose power. Confidence is not arrogance. Confidence is self-trust. It means you trust your decisions. You trust your growth. You trust your effort. Many people get hurt because they secretly doubt themselves. If someone says, "You are not good enough," and you already doubt yourself, their words feel true. But if you believe in yourself, their words feel small. So how do you build confidence? First, Keep small promises to yourself. If you say you will wake up early, wake up early. If you say you will practice English, practice it. If you say you will work on your goal, work on it. Every time you keep a promise, self-trust increases. Self-trust builds confidence. Second, improve yourself daily. Confidence grows when you see progress. Learn new skills. Improve your communication. Take care of your health. Dress neatly. Stand straight. Small improvements create inner strength. When you know you are improving, outside opinions matter less. Third, accept your imperfections. You are not perfect. No one is. If you wait to be perfect before showing yourself to the world, you will wait forever. Confidence means accepting flaws and still moving forward. Fourth, stop comparing yourself. Comparison destroys confidence. There will always be someone better than you, and someone worse than you. Focus on your journey. Compete with your past self, not with others. Fifth, face small fears. If you are afraid to speak, start speaking. If you are afraid to try, start trying. Courage builds confidence. Confidence grows through action. Avoiding fear keeps you weak. Facing fear makes you stronger. Another powerful truth. Confidence comes from competence. When you improve your skills, you naturally feel confident. If you prepare well, you feel secure. Preparation reduces insecurity. Also remember this: you cannot please everyone. Even if you try your best, some people will criticize you. That is normal. Confidence means accepting that not everyone will like you, and being okay with that. You do not need everyone's approval. You need your own approval. Ask yourself daily, am I improving? Am I trying? Am I honest? If the answer is yes, that is enough. When confidence is strong, criticism becomes feedback, not pain. You listen calmly. You take what is useful. You ignore what is useless. Strong self-confidence is like armor. It protects your peace. It protects your mindset. It protects your dreams. Remember this clearly. If you build your identity on people's opinions, your confidence will break easily. But if you build your identity on self-growth, no opinion can shake you. Work on yourself daily. Keep promises. Improve skills. Face fears. Accept flaws. And slowly, you will stop caring about what people think. Because when you believe in yourself, outside noise becomes weak, and your inner voice becomes strong. Lesson 4. Stop seeking validation and approval. One of the biggest reasons you care about what people think is because you want validation. Validation means you want others to approve you. You want them to say, "You are good. You are smart. You are doing great." There is nothing wrong with appreciation. But the problem begins when your happiness depends on it. If someone praises you, you feel confident. If someone ignores you, you feel low. If someone criticizes you, you feel broken. That means your emotional control is in someone else's hands. That is dangerous. You cannot build strong confidence if your self-worth depends on outside approval. Ask yourself honestly, why do you need people to confirm your value? Why do you need everyone to agree with your choices? You seek validation because you doubt yourself. When you are unsure, you look for reassurance. But true strength comes from self-validation. Self-validation means you approve yourself. You respect your own effort. You trust your own decisions, even if others disagree. This does not mean you ignore feedback. It means you do not depend on applause. Imagine this. You post something online. If you get many likes, you feel happy. If you get few likes, you feel disappointed. Why? Because you gave strangers control over your mood. That is seeking validation. When you live like this, You become a slave to opinions. Freedom comes when you reduce this need. You do not need everyone to clap. You do not need everyone to agree. You only need to stay true to your values. Another powerful truth. People who constantly seek approval often change themselves. They hide their personality. They avoid expressing opinions. They choose safe paths. Why? Because they fear rejection. But rejection is part of life. Not everyone will like you. And that is okay. You do not like everyone either. So why expect everyone to like you? When you stop seeking validation, you become authentic. You speak honestly. You act confidently. You live freely. Another important habit is celebrating your own progress. Do not wait for others to notice your improvement. Notice it yourself. If you improved your English, be proud. If you handled criticism calmly, be proud. If you stepped out of your comfort zone, be proud. Self-recognition builds confidence. Confidence reduces validation need. Also reduce over-explaining. When you constantly explain your choices to gain approval, you weaken your position. You do not owe everyone a long explanation. If your decision aligns with your goals, that is enough. Remember this clearly. Approval is temporary. Self-respect is permanent. If you build your life based on approval, you will constantly adjust yourself. But if you build your life based on values, you remain stable. Stop chasing applause. Chase growth. Stop asking, what do they think? Start asking, am I proud of myself? Because when you approve yourself, outside validation becomes optional. And when validation becomes optional, you finally become mentally free. Lesson 5. Live boldly without fear of judgment. If you truly want freedom, you must learn to live boldly. Most people live small lives because they fear judgment. They stay quiet in meetings because they fear being wrong. They avoid new opportunities because they fear criticism. They hide their dreams because they fear laughter. But think about this. If you keep living carefully just to avoid judgment, are you really living? Fear of judgment is a silent prison. It limits your growth. It limits your voice. It limits your potential. Living boldly does not mean being rude or careless. It means being authentic. It means expressing yourself honestly. It means trying even if you might fail. Bold people understand one truth. Judgment is temporary. Regret is permanent. If you do not try because of fear, you will regret it later. But if you try and fail, at least you gain experience. Experience builds strength. The first step to living boldly is accepting discomfort. Growth always feels uncomfortable. Speaking publicly feels scary at first. Trying something new feels risky. Sharing your opinion feels vulnerable. But discomfort is proof that you are growing. If everything feels safe and easy, you are not expanding. The second step is separating criticism from identity. If someone says, "You made a mistake," it does not mean you are a mistake. Learn to separate action from identity. You can improve actions, but do not attack yourself personally. The third step is practicing courage daily. Courage is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Start small. Speak your opinion once. Try something new once. Share your idea once. Small acts of bravery build big confidence. Another powerful mindset is this: what is the worst that can happen? Most fears are exaggerated. You imagine humiliation. You imagine failure. But often nothing serious happens. And even if it does, you survive. Life continues. Remember this clearly. The people who judge you do not live your life. They do not carry your responsibilities. They do not fight your battles. So why give them power over your decisions? Live according to your values, not according to public opinion. Also understand this. When you live boldly, some people will dislike you. That is normal. But some people will respect you deeply. Respect comes from authenticity. Pretending pleases everyone temporarily. Being real attracts the right people. You cannot build a strong identity while hiding your true self. Be honest about your dreams. Be confident in your voice. Be clear about your goals. Living boldly does not mean no fear. It means acting despite fear. Fear may whisper, but courage must answer. If you always wait for perfect confidence, you will never start. Action creates confidence. Confidence creates freedom. Freedom creates happiness. One day, you will look back at your life. Will you say, I am glad I played safe? Or will you say, I am proud I tried? Choose boldness. Choose growth. Choose authenticity. Because when you stop fearing judgment, you finally start living. And when you start living boldly, no opinion can control you. Lesson 6. Focus on your goals, not their opinions. If you constantly think about what people say, you lose focus on what truly matters. Your goals, your dreams, your growth. Energy is limited. If you waste it worrying about opinions, you will not have enough energy to build your future. Many people stay stuck because they are distracted by noise. Noise of criticism, noise of comparison, noise of gossip, noise of unnecessary advice. But successful people do something different. They focus. They focus on improvement. They focus on discipline. They focus on long-term goals. They understand that opinions do not pay bills. Opinions do not build skills. Opinions do not create success. Action does. Imagine you want to improve your English. If you keep thinking, what if they laugh at my accent? You will not practice. If you want to start a business but keep thinking, what will people say if I fail? You will not start. If you want to express your opinion but fear judgment, you will stay silent. Fear of opinion kills potential. Focus on your target. When your goal is clear, distractions become weak. Clarity creates direction. Direction creates discipline. Discipline creates results. Ask yourself daily, is this opinion helping me grow? If the answer is no, ignore it. Another important truth. People who criticize are often not building anything. They are observers, not creators. Creators stay busy working. Observers stay busy judging. Choose to be a creator. When you are deeply focused on your mission, you do not have time to worry about who is watching. Also, remember this. Results silence critics. When you improve consistently, when you achieve progress, people's opinions change automatically. But do not wait for their approval. Work for your satisfaction. Another powerful mindset shift. Instead of asking, what do they think about me? Ask, what progress did I make today? Track your growth. Track your habits. Track your learning. Growth builds confidence. Confidence reduces fear. Fear disappears when purpose becomes stronger. Think about your future self, 5 years from now. Will your future self thank you for caring about gossip or for staying focused? Stay focused. Protect your time. Protect your energy. Protect your goals. Because once time passes, it does not return. Every minute spent worrying is a minute not improving. Focus creates freedom. Focus creates success. Focus creates respect. When you commit to your goals, opinions become background noise. And when opinions become noise, you stop crying about them. You start building instead. Lesson 7. Develop a strong identity and self-respect. If you truly want to stop caring about what people think, You must build a strong identity. When you do not know who you are, you depend on others to define you. When you are unsure about your values, you follow public opinion. But when your identity is clear, outside voices become weak. Identity means knowing what you believe in, what you stand for, what matters to you, what kind of person you want to become. If you do not define yourself, society will define you. And society changes its opinions daily. One day it praises something, the next day it criticizes it. If you live based on trends, your confidence will always shake. A strong identity begins with self-awareness. Ask yourself honestly, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are my values? What kind of life do I want? When you answer these questions, you build clarity. Clarity builds stability. Stability builds confidence. Self-respect is also important. Self-respect means you value yourself. You do not beg for attention. You do not tolerate disrespect. You do not change your personality just to please someone. When you respect yourself, others feel it. People treat you based on how you treat yourself. If you constantly apologize for existing, people will not take you seriously. If you stand with calm confidence, people will respect you. Self-respect also means setting boundaries. If someone constantly criticizes you, limit your exposure. If someone disrespects your goals, distance yourself. Boundaries protect your peace. Peace protects your confidence. Another powerful truth. When your identity is strong, you stop seeking approval. Because you already know your worth. You know your effort. You know your values. You know your journey. You do not need everyone to agree. Agreement is not validation. Self-approval is. Also remember this. A strong identity is built through action. If you say you value discipline, be disciplined. If you say you value growth, improve daily. If you say you value honesty, speak truthfully. Your actions must match your words. Consistency builds character. Character builds respect. Respect builds confidence. When you become consistent in your habits, you start trusting yourself. Self-trust is powerful. When you trust yourself, others' opinions lose control. You become stable. Stable people are hard to shake. Another important lesson. Stop labeling yourself based on one mistake. One failure does not define you. One opinion does not define you. Identity is built over time, through effort, through resilience, through growth. If someone says something negative, ask yourself, does this match who I am? If not, ignore it calmly. You do not need to fight every opinion. You only need to stay aligned with your identity. Remember this clearly. If you know who you are, no one can easily control you. But if you depend on others to tell you who you are, you will always feel insecure. Build your identity. Build your self-respect. Stand firm in your values. And slowly, you will stop caring about what people think. Because when your identity is strong, their opinions become irrelevant. Lesson 8. Be free and live on your own terms. At the end of the day, this is what truly matters. Freedom, not money, not fame, not applause. Freedom. Freedom from fear. Freedom from constant approval. Freedom from overthinking what others think. Many people are alive, but they are not free. They wake up thinking about society. They make decisions based on relatives. They hide their dreams because they fear judgment. That is not freedom. That is invisible pressure. If you always live for people's opinions, you will slowly lose yourself. You will forget what you truly want. You will forget your real personality. You will forget your real dreams. Living on your own terms does not mean ignoring everyone. It means listening to yourself first. It means respecting your values. It means making decisions that align with your goals. You only get one life. One. And it is limited. Time is moving every day. If you keep waiting for people's approval, you will waste precious years. Ask yourself honestly, when you are 60 years old, will people's opinions matter? Or will your regrets matter more? Regret is heavy. Regret comes from not trying. Regret comes from staying silent. Regret comes from playing safe. Freedom comes when you accept this truth. You cannot control what people think, but you can control how you live. Some people will misunderstand you. Some people will criticize you. Some people will disagree. That is normal. It does not mean you are wrong. It means you are different, and different is powerful. Living freely means speaking when you have something to say, trying when you want to grow, walking away from disrespect, choosing your path confidently. It means being calm even when people talk, because people will always talk. If you succeed, they talk. If you fail, they talk. If you stay quiet, they talk. If you speak boldly, they talk. So let them talk. Your job is not to control noise. Your job is to build your life. When you live on your own terms, you feel light. You feel clear. You feel strong. You stop explaining yourself to everyone. You stop proving yourself constantly. You focus on growth. You focus on purpose. You focus on progress. That is real power. Remember this clearly. The more you fear judgment, the smaller your life becomes. The less you fear judgment, the bigger your life becomes. Choose courage. Choose authenticity. Choose freedom. Because in the end, people will forget what you did, but you will remember whether you lived fully or not. Stop crying about what people think. Start building who you are. And when you finally live freely, you will realize something powerful. Peace was never outside. It was inside you all along. You cannot control people's opinions, but you can control your mindset. You can control your focus. You can control your courage. If you keep living for approval, you will lose your confidence. But if you start living for growth, you will gain freedom. Let people talk. Let them judge. Let them misunderstand. Your job is not to impress them. Your job is to improve yourself. Build your goals, build your skills, build your identity. Because when you respect yourself, outside opinions lose power. If this lesson helped you, like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more powerful lessons that help you grow stronger every day. Remember, strong mind, free life.